And you're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show here on Clock TV. I am Miriam Abna Adede. That was Ohima Messi on the tune Dry Bones. Well, it is all about the National Measles, Rubella and Vitamin A Supplementation campaign happening in Ghana, and it was rolled out by the Ministry of Health. And we at Clock TV, we are also joining hands in, sending across that education to our viewers, and that is why today we'll be discussing the essence of childhood vaccination, protecting the future generation. We want to also emphasize on the need for our viewers and everyone to vaccinate their kids and to help them and also safeguard them from, getting these preventable illnesses. And doing this education with me in the studio, I have with me the Deputy Programs Manager, expanded programs on immunization with the Ghana Health Service, and he's in the person of Dr. Nazir Tanko Mohammed. Hello, Doc.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
By God's grace, you are doing well. And yourself?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for coming. And
thank you for having me.
Right. I know this campaign is a 5-day campaign, right?
Yes.
Which started, I think, yesterday.
Yeah.
Why do you think parents need to prioritize, vaccinating their children?
Yes, thank you very much for having me this morning and for the opportunity for us to have this all-important conversation on immunization and its benefits. In fact, immunization has been documented as the most cost-effective intervention in preventing diseases and death among children. And so when you talk of why is it important for immunization to be prioritized, then I'll say that number one is basically to ensure that we are able to protect ourselves and our children against vaccine-preventable diseases. For some diseases that are troubling us within our environment or in our very day-to-day life, they can be prevented by vaccines.
Yeah.
And so with that opportunity, it is quite sad that sometimes we see our children and even sometimes adults coming down with such diseases. And so with the evidence that has been clearly documented that even for $1 of investment in vaccines or immunization, you get about $24 returns.
Okay.
Such that the sickness that will have crippled or affected our children or our family members that we are going to spend so much on, we'll be able to save such expenditure. And then the child will be healthy, he'll be able to go to school, mother will be able to, or the caregivers will be able to also attend to their various economic activities. The whole family will be happy. Sometimes these vaccine-preventable diseases lead to death. And as for death, is something that we want to ensure that no child should we lose in his early days in life. And vaccine has proven to be one of the effective means of doing so. But no matter how good these vaccines are, if our children are not, we do not avail our children. And I would like to be adding adults by and large, because we also have adult vaccines by way of our COVID-19 vaccine that we're speaking about, though this morning our conversation is centering around children mainly. Then it's like we are actually losing a great opportunity. Look at our various hospitals, the cost of care that government day in, day out is crying that diseases are on the increase. We are not able to equip, if like, our various hospitals with the necessary drugs. If we prevent the disease, government will be able to make a lot of savings. And then maybe that amount will be channeled into other areas of the sectors of the economy, so that our lives or our economy will also boost. The catastrophic cost that will be associated with healthcare will be reduced. And children will generally grow healthy. And I think that because of some of these reasons, we should be able to prioritize our children ourselves for vaccine.
Exactly. Well said. But you made mention of the fact that no matter how good a vaccine is, I thought you were going to talk about some misconceptions. And so tell us some of the misconceptions surrounding vaccines.
Yes, thank you very much. I think generally some segment of the population usually have been influenced by rumors and myths that either vaccines are used to, a means of control birth, that is family planning instrument or tool. Others are of the opinion that some people are making their own money from the use of the vaccines and others.
Yeah.
And generally, I would say that all these have no scientific basis. They have no scientific basis because if even you look, I'll take the Ghanaian setup, where the immunization program, that is the expanded program on immunization, was set up in somewhere 1978. Since 1978, we've been giving vaccines to children in Ghana. If indeed vaccines do cause infertility or is used to control birth, then it means that those that are born after 1978, most of them should be experiencing infertility or inability to give birth by now. But you will agree with me that our sisters, aunties, and most of them receive these vaccines. And we are still reproducing. That is the empirical evidence that what we are saying is not true. That generally there are a group of people who are generally against vaccines for whatever reasons. And I will say that for some, they are not fully informed about the benefit that we stand to gain. They've also been influenced by some of these negative stories that they hear about vaccines. And I must say that the public should disregard those misconceptions. The vaccines are very, very good. Hitherto, when you move around in our communities, we see children with diseases like polio, i.e., those with weakness in their lower limbs or in their legs, they are not able to walk, sometimes even in the upper limb. Nowadays, it's something of the past. You don't see those cases such as, because of the good things that vaccine has done to us as a country. We used to have a lot of cases of neonatal tetanus. Unfortunately, killing a lot of our children during the 1970s or in those earlier age. But fortunately, since 2011, we have been able to eliminate neonatal tetanus from our population in Ghana here, which is a very good news. In fact, until recent past, cases of measles were something that, in fact, even those of us who are trained as medics, you can finish your training, you've not even seen a single case for you for them to demonstrate for you how it looks like. Until recent past, when our immunization program was affected by the COVID pandemic and the recent deaths and the stocks levels of the vaccine, we were doing very well. And because of the reduction in our coverage rates for the vaccines, we started seeing cases of measles, which was very topical in our media. And some of these are very clear evidence that, yes, without the vaccines, then the diseases that hitherto we thought were something of the past, they will start resurfacing. And so we need to put our acts together, ensure that those that we've been able to fight against and win over, we do not lag behind for it to resurface in any way.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Well, if you just joined us, this is the lifestyle segment of the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we've been discussing the essence of childhood vaccination. And if you just joined us, you can join in the conversation by sending in your comments to our WhatsApp number, which is on your screens right now, or via streaming platforms, Facebook and also YouTube. We'll gladly read out all your questions regarding the essence of childhood vaccination. We have Doc here with us, so don't miss out on this opportunity. Right. Now, Doc, let's look at the importance of timely vaccination. Why is it very important for parents to vaccinate their children within a specific time?
Thank you very much. So the vaccination program is very much guided by science.
Okay.
There are certain diseases that we know the time period within which it usually affects children. And the vaccines we have available have been tried and tested, and they are scheduled, known such that when they are delivered within those schedule, within those period, it is known that they are able to protect these children in the most efficient and effective manner. So if we deviate from what the science is telling us, i.e. in terms of the scheduling of those vaccines, then we tend then to expose the children to these vaccine preventable diseases. So if you take a disease like polio or the measles that currently we are dealing with, when a child is born, usually it is known that he's able to receive some maternal protection against the disease.
Yeah.
By the age of 9 months, it is known that that immunity level tends to wane down, and then it is that time that he starts getting what? Exposed.
Yeah.
And so the scheduling for the vaccine then is put at a time that as and when the exposure or the protection that he's gaining from the maternal side is waning off, then that of the vaccine comes to take over.
Oh, okay.
So if by age 9 months that child does not receive it, then it means that what he's expecting to receive from, or what he was supposed to be benefiting from the mother, is no more with him or her. And so when the disease finds itself in that environment, then he can easily go down with that disease. So it is scheduled in Ghana that at 9 months you receive the first dose of the measles rubella vaccine. Then at 18 months, so that that child becomes maximally protected. So some children, for instance, are given the first dose. Mother thinks that by each 12 months or 1 year, this child has started walking. Oh, then he has graduated.
Yeah.
He has still not benefited maximally from that measles rubella vaccine because he's supposed to receive two doses for the maximal protection, as the science of it has shown us. So if that child does not receive it at the 18th month, then he's exposed to getting the measles or the measles rubella disease. And at the end of the day, he'll still come down with the disease.
Right. Doc, we have a question here. And my name is Sewa, watching you from Kaswa. Could you ask Doc to differentiate between immunization and vaccination?
Okay. So thank you very much for the question. Usually, or sometimes we use those words interchangeably, but the vaccination is the act of introducing the vaccine into the human body. That is the process.
Yeah.
But after this particular introduction in the human body, the body must respond to the vaccine in order to develop the necessary immunity or protection for the vaccine recipient. If the body is able to respond appropriately or as expected, such that the antibodies, or what we call the soldiers that we are expecting to fight the disease when the body comes in contact with the disease, are able to be developed in adequate quantities, such that when the disease comes, the body can fight it. Then we say that such a child or such an individual has been what? Immunized. In other words, there are people that may receive the vaccine or they'll be vaccinated, but their body may not respond to the vaccine as expected, develop the necessary protection to fight the disease. In that case, they have been vaccinated, but they have not been what? Immunized. So that is the difference between the two. But in our normal day-to-day interaction, sometimes we use those words interchangeably, assuming that all vaccinations given to the individual will be ending in getting him immunized.
Exactly. And Doc, on the issue of immunization, what role would you say vitamin A supplementation, plays in a child's life? Because I've heard a lot of parents say, my child has been vaccinated. Why do I need to give her vitamin A supplements?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll be very glad that our viewers get it very clear that when we talk of vitamin A, it is not a vaccine. It is a supplement. And it is a supplement in the sense that what the vitamin A supplement or the capsules that we are giving to these children, what it tends to give the children, they tend to get it from either the food substances we are eating or when they are young, even from the breast milk that their mothers are giving them. But sometimes they do not receive the adequate quantities. And so in order to ensure that all our children are well covered, then we are giving them those supplements in addition. So the mode of operation of the vitamin A capsules is different from the way the vaccines are working. The vitamin A is known that it is able to boost these children their immunity against diseases, such that it helps within our blood. There is a component that we call the white blood cell that usually fight infection. It is known that the vitamin A helps in the functioning of these white blood cells. Then, very, very importantly, vitamin A also helps in maintaining the integrity of the surfaces of our organs. I'll put it generally like that, such that within our intestines, the cover of the intestine, the vitamin A helps protect the lining, which we are calling the intestinal mucosa. Within our lungs too, there are some linings. It helps protect the integrity. Then within our urethra, where we urinate, it also has that function. At the end of the day, all these put together ensures that inflammations, infections that could have affected these surfaces, the vitamin A strengthens these organs such that they do not come down with the diseases. And so vitamin A is very, very critical, especially in children that are exposed to diseases of those nature, coughs by way of pneumonia, diarrhea diseases and others. When they get the vitamin A, it helps them a lot. And yes, we encourage that children are given various food supplements or food substances such that they're able to derive some of these. And I'll say that most of our food or fruits that are yellowish has rich sources of the vitamin A.
Okay.
But it is known that for most children, they do not have it. And so generally as a program in Ghana, we tend to supplement those ones so that no child goes down with deficiency of the vitamin A, because the consequences are not pleasant, such that somebody develops what we call night blindness. In the night, he's not able to see too well. They tend to develop skin diseases or skin rashes because their vitamin A levels are very low and others. We do not want our children to go through that trouble. That's why we are giving them the vitamin.
So it means it is not only for children. Adults should also, take in a lot of vitamin A.
Vitamin A. And for adults, for them, they rely on mainly the food substances or the food sources, because we have a lot of rich sources from the foods that we are eating. Something like the liver of either the sheep or the goat when we go is very rich in vitamin A.
Wow.
Tangerine, tangerine with the yellow cover has a very rich source of vitamin A. Watermelon has it. Carrots, the yellow, fruits and vegetables that when we take it, they are very pinkish or yellowish. They are very rich sources of vitamin A. And for adults, that should be sufficient for them. It is our children that we are very, very much worried. Their cells are replicating day in, day out, and they are more prone to the infection. So we don't want to take chances such that any caregiver is not able to provide the necessary amount or quantities to the child, and then he comes down with the disease.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Doc, with the issue of measles, we all know that these measles, rubella vaccination is helping to prevent a disease like measles. What other diseases do these vaccines prevent our children from getting?
Yes, so we have various vaccines for various diseases or infections.
Oh, okay.
So right from birth, we have the polio, oral droplets that we are giving to the children. And then we also have the injection that we give to them to protect them against TB, tuberculosis. Then moving forward, by age 6 weeks, we are giving them a pentavalent vaccine, a vaccine 5-in-1, as we call it, which is protecting them against the disease we call pertussis, Haemophilus influenza type B. It's protecting them against tetanus. It's protecting them against hepatitis B infection. So a whole lot. In fact, at that 6 weeks, we are giving them a vaccine against what we call rotavirus. A rotavirus is an infection that usually causes the children to have a lot of diarrhea. Our caregivers relate so much, especially in those early days. One of their biggest concern with children is them usually passing a lot of stools, watery stools or watery diarrhea. And the rotavirus is able to help protect these children against that. Then when we are moving on at age 9 months, as we are protecting them against the measles, rubella, which currently we are having the campaign nationwide because some children we've not been able to reach with the vaccine. We are taking the opportunity from the 2nd yesterday to the 6th of October to be able to reach the children In fact, not only those we've not reached, but it's for all children in Ghana that are under 5 years, from 9 months to 5 years. We are giving them doses of the measles rubella because some of the children we've not been able to reach. Those we've been able to reach, when we give it to them, it comes like an additional, we call it booster to those children, such that by the end of the 5 days campaign, we'll be able to reach at least 95% of our targets or more to ensure that our children are protected against measles and rubella so that we don't lose them to the disease as they age. Then we also have yellow fever. In recent past, you've heard that we've had yellow fever outbreaks, a very devastating disease when it strikes our children with mortality or deaths very, very high when somebody gets the disease. Then also in some of our regions, in fact, currently in 11 out of our 16 regions, we are also giving vaccine against malaria. I'm sure for those in Accra, it is a news because we've not started in Accra yet. But in regions like Upper East, Bono, Ahafo, and Bono East, we've started. Volta and Uti have already started. In recently, that is just last month, we added 4 more regions. Upper West, Savannah, Northern region, and then Western North regions. They have also started the malaria vaccine. Then our meningitis, the meningitis vaccine, it's also in the program. So generally, quite a lot of diseases. In fact, we'll say that meaning about 40 infections we are preventing against diseases in Ghana. And so when we see a child that for one reason or the other, he has not received any of these vaccines at the right time, then we are worried because they always say prevention is better than cure. Why do we let our children be exposed to these diseases?
Yes, I mean, I've been wondering because looking at what you just said, it looks like it is for our own good the health service is doing all these things. Yet there are still, some parents who are very hesitant when it comes to vaccinating their children. Could there be some kind of misinformation somewhere?
Yes. So as I mentioned, for some people they are misinformed from groups that for sometimes, in fact, for religious reasons, they are not in favor of vaccination. But we continuously engage them so that we understand that the vaccines are there to help us. And generally, when the human being or the caregivers understand the benefits that comes with the vaccine, they make the children available for us to vaccinate them. So mainly the misinformation, the rumors, especially around the infertility issues I mentioned to you. We are generally within the African context where we do not like to joke with issues about fertility. So those that are campaigning against vaccines usually use that means to confuse or misinform.
But what is your outfit doing about it?
So actually we are continuously engaging the communities through our officers that are stationed across the country in the communities. We're also using the various media. One of such engagements we are having this morning, the radio stations, the community information centers, a lot of them we are engaging to help us carry the message around the benefits of vaccination. We're also using key influencers, people who have benefited from vaccine, to actually tell the good or the success stories they've seen about vaccines. Then the information or the data that we have available, we try to put it in the various online and print media for those who can read, to also read and understand what good things that the vaccines are actually offering us.
Right. We'll be wrapping up shortly. We have a question here. Please ask Doc, why is it childhood vaccination? Does it mean compulsorily once you are born, you have to be vaccinated?
Thank you very much. It is not compulsory, but for your own good. Why? Because the vaccines are to prevent us against common infections that we have in our environment. So if for any reason you have not received it, you are exposing yourself to the danger of such infections. You are exposing your family to such dangers. Because if within a family, some of the diseases are such that it spreads very easily. So if you are within the family and you have not protected yourself, then by and large, you are also exposing your family members. You go and pick it from outside, bring it to them, and then at the end, it may affect the entire family. You are going to use a lot of money to get it cured if we are lucky. And for most of them, we tend to lose them, unfortunately. In fact, for some of the diseases, they are not, I would say, curable or treatable. A disease like polio, when somebody gets paralytic polio, the child is maimed for life. He's not able to continue his daily activities. Every day, he has to sometimes depend on others. In fact, the discomfort that it comes with it is very, very high, which we say that just receive either the few drops of the vaccine or the shot of the vaccine, and then you are protected. So it is not compulsory, though by law, the law ensures or stipulates that all children under 5 in Ghana must receive or shall be given the vaccine. So that even if it needs to be forced on the child for him to be vaccinated, the law actually guarantees that the healthcare worker can do that. But we think that if we engage and are engaged appropriately, such that the population or the community understands what the vaccines are there to do for us, then we will willingly come for it. And it tends to actually help us more than when it comes to it being forced onto the...
Okay, we have another question here. I am David, watching you from Ministries. Okay, so you're around. I have seen your banner somewhere. I want to know what would be discussed at the meeting. I think that has to do with the launch that happened on Tuesday.
Okay. So the launch, that was, I think, on Wednesday, or was it on Tuesday. The 1st? On Tuesday. Yeah. Yes, that was on the Tuesday. Was to announce to the entire public, the Ghanaian population, and even beyond, that we have set aside the 2nd to 6th of October to conduct a 5-day measles rubella vaccination campaign that is to be integrated, or that is integrated with vitamin A supplementation, all in an effort to boost the population, their protection that we are offering them against measles, rubella, and its associated complication, and also the deficiency of vitamin A, so that our children that are from 9 months to 59 months, or 9 months to 5 years, will not be affected by the unfortunate consequences or complications of these diseases, which include sometimes death, sometimes deafness, sometimes loss of the eyesight or the night blindness I mentioned. Sometimes, in fact, we have a condition we call the congenital rubella syndrome, which usually affects women in reproductive age. When they conceive, they're able to, if they are infected by rubella, they're able to pass the disease onto their unborn child. So when the child is born, the child will come out with diseases like the typical hole in heart, congenital heart diseases, as we call it. Sometimes they come with white pupils, cataracts. Then sometimes they come with small hairs, microcephaly. Then sometimes they are mentally retarded. When you give birth to such a child, and it's because of congenital rubella syndrome, it is just sad, because just a dose of the vaccination in our routine, which we've made 2 doses, will have been enough to protect the child against these conditions. And for that matter, even the mother later when she was becoming pregnant. But because she did not receive it, she is giving birth to such a child. So we wanted to announce to the public that within this period, which started yesterday, we should make our children who fall within this age category available at our various health facilities. We will also be operating at various busy markets by way of mobile teams. We will set up teams that will be offering these vaccinations. For areas that are hard to reach, in other words, to travel to those places very far, reverend communities and others, we will have the campouts where a group of healthcare workers will move to those communities, go and stay there for some number of days to provide these services.
Lastly,
for them.
Doc, we know the measles rubella vaccine is supposed to be taken twice, right?
In the routine program.
Okay, so what happens if there is an overdose? Someone takes 3.
Okay.
Are there some potential side effects?
Okay, so fortunately for us, for vaccines, there are no overdose of the vaccines because the body is able to handle them. The body sees them as additional level of protection that the child is being offered. So we are saying that even for those who have received their 2 doses for the measles rubella vaccine in the routine schedule, they should still go and receive this vaccine in addition. It has no side effect in that regard, or it has no overdose in that regard. The body will still benefit from that additional dose that is going to be offered.
Okay, your last words.
My last words is that for everything that is good, it is always good that you share it with your brothers and sisters. And the Ghana Health Service has a lot of these good vaccines that we are talking about. It is meant to protect our children, and for the adult vaccine, even the adult population. But within this period of the campaign, let's make our children who are between the ages of 9 months to 5 years, or 59 months as we put it in our language, available at our various health facilities so that they will be given these vaccines to ensure that they are fully protected against vaccine-preventable diseases.
Thank you so much, Doc, for that education. I hope you also learned something. Doc is saying we should make our children available for that discussion. And I have this conversation with the Deputy Programs Manager, Expanded Programs on Immunization at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Naziru Tanko Mohammed. He was our guest for today as we discussed the essence of childhood vaccination, protecting the future generation. Thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you very much.
Right. So we have amazing personalities to celebrate right after this. Stay with us.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday. Today was your birthday.
Right, so you're welcome back. Now let's start with our first birthday celebrant. And this is to Smile. Happy birthday to you, Smile. Wishing you many more years of God's blessings and favor. And this is also to Samuel Ewu from Queen Eva. A million magic wishes to you, Samuel. May your incredible soul rejoice in your new level up in celebration today, my dearest friend. And this is also to Mr. and Mrs. Boateng. Happy blessed 10th wedding anniversary to my spiritual father, Prophet Akwesi Boateng, and wife, Ma Joa Frimpoma Boateng. As you celebrate another year of love and companionship, may your bond deepen with each passing moment. Your love is a testament to God's grace and the strength of your devotion to one another. From your son, Marcelo, and the entire Pathfinder of the Tabernacle of David, Assemblies of God Church. And this is also to Lady Abigail. Wishing you a day filled with joy, laughter, and God's blessings. Have a great day today and a testimony-filled year ahead. Happy birthday from CLBC BYL Ministry. This is also, in advance to Soft Life, Nadia. Wishing you the best in life, good health, and happiness to you, Empress. A happy birthday to Edmond Abeku Ando. God bless you and exalt you. Thank you for being an amazing friend and brother. Have an amazing year. A happy birthday to Exonam Donyo. God bless you and increase you. Cheers to more years of joy and laughter. Have an amazing year, Odogu. We also have this from Oyibo to Caleb Opokubuat Obeng. I want to wish Caleb Opoku Obeng a happy belated and blissful birthday. You have been a very good friend, and I appreciate you for that. Your kind is rare, and your sense of humor has brought laughter to the faces of many. So may God make you laugh always. Happy birthday to you again, my brother, and I love you. Happy birthday to you, my dear bro. May the good Lord bless you, wisdom and knowledge. Okay, with wisdom and knowledge. This is to Mr. and Mrs. Asameni, from your favorite cousin and in-law. Happy anniversary to you, my people. Wishing you many more years of love, joy, and peace in your home. I pray for more children and that they will grow to become just like you too. And this is from Jessica with all my love. Dr. Janice, today we celebrate you and all the joy you bring into our lives. You are not just my sister, but also my confidant and best friend. May this year be filled with laughter, love, and all the dreams you wish to achieve. Here's to more adventures together and countless cherished moments. Enjoy your special day to the fullest. This is from Jessica to Auntie Mabel. Blessed birthday to my superwoman, Auntie Lady May, President of the Twin Mama Association, President of Bond 4 Squad. You be too much. I love you. Enjoy your new year. And the last one is from Jessica to Yvonne. Happy birthday, Yvonne. My prayer for you is that this smile will never fade, and may you excel in whatever your hands find to do. Thank you so much for bringing in your birthday messages. It is always an honor to celebrate this moment with you. This is where we end the lifestyle and also birthday segment here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. And Yaira Awuno is up next with her guests to discuss some important issues. Stay with us.